what's coming up tonight on News Center Now.
It's bittersweet in the sense that a lot of people's jobs are going to change.
Big changes in the works to shake up Maine's craft brew scene, but some shipyard workers could be out of a job.
I am here, I am okay, and that it's fake news.
A Facebook page with thousands of followers announced her death. But this lawmaker is very much alive and very confused.
And 5-year-old Valerio, swept away by the Androscoggin River, is feared dead. His family is asking for help finding his body.
This is News Center Now. The sun is shining down on a 90-degree day, coaxing many people out to the beaches for the very first time this year. But for those of us working inside in the city today, the hot weather is making us wish we could be outside. Hello, everybody. I'm Lee Goldberg.
And I'm Lindsay Mills. It's what all of us are talking about today, this amazing weather we are having. And Keith, of course, is outside. He's live in Scarborough. Keith, did we break any records today?
You know what's amazing, guys, is technically the record in Portland today was 91 degrees, so we didn't get there. We got to 90 officially. I'm at the Dairy Corner here, Route 1. Nice day, a lot of people showing up here. I got this this hot fudge sundae, and it is just a disaster right now, Derek. Took a look at this. I got this, 5 minutes ago? And this thing is just, it was a bad choice. I shouldn't have gone with the hot fudge. I've got about 5 minutes left to eat that. With that in mind, let's do the weather so I can get to it and show you what we had for temperatures today. 90 officially in Portland. We did get to 90 in, where we go, Sanford as well, 81 in Wiscasset. These are current temperatures, 78 in Rockland, 73 in Bar Harbor. So hot everywhere and overperforming hot, even in the spots that we thought were going to get warm. The fact that we got to 90 was surprising in a lot of spots. And the dew points are extremely low. You're not going to see this very often, to have temperatures this mild but have the dew points, the air mass, be so dry in the 40s. Probably a record, an obscure one, of how dry we were when we got to 90. Few clouds now rolling in. Northern Maine going to see some showers tonight, and it's worth noting because northern Maine, Aroostook County, actually has a couple of flood warnings in effect along the rivers there, and they're going to get more rain tonight. So talk about two different state forecasts. The central and southern part of the state, mild, summery, and the southern part of the state, the northern part of the state, seeing those showers and the flood warnings there. We have another warm day tomorrow, but it's going to be more humid and not quite as beautiful. We'll talk about that, guys, and also have a look at your weekend forecast. All that's coming up in just a few minutes while I eat my ice cream, so give me about 5 or so.
All right, we'll give you time. It'll be probably all over his face by the time we go back.
Exactly.
So, all right, you guys ask, we find the answer. One woman who wants to remain anonymous wrote to us wondering about the status of a popular Maine brew company. She wants to know if Shipyard is closing at the end of the month.
She's concerned workers are getting laid off, so we sat down with Fred Forsley, the founder and president, who says it's a time of change for his company to keep up with Maine's competitive craft beer industry. In the next 2 years, Portland's East End will transform from this to this if Fred Forsley's plan comes to fruition.
And we're going to bring it hopefully to another level.
He's the founder and president of Shipyard Brewing Company. He has linked up with Bateman Partners to announce a $65 million redevelopment plan, which would create the state's first craft brew themed hotel. The Brewtel, as it's called, would be built next to the current tasting room.
Room service would bring a cart that would have draft beer and other products that were made right on site.
The proposed 4 to 6 story building would include that 105-room hotel and also space for offices, residential units, and parking. The tasting room would stay where it is, but with nicer digs.
You know, the development is a little bittersweet.
He says while there's a need to keep up with Maine's competitive craft brew industry by modernizing his business, it will be a time of transition for the Shipyard staff.
Yes, the employees' jobs will change.
They say they are in the process of trying to place up to 30 employees at other Shipyard-owned or affiliated sites in Kennebunk, Vermont, Bangor, or even Florida. If they can't make a new job work, they could be unemployed.
A tough thing to kind of address, but we're going to give 110% at finding and assisting people to find other jobs.
Forsley says there are several shipyard locations that need more workers, brewers, and hospitality positions.
The toughest thing right now is finding good people, and we have a lot of good people at Shipyard.
Upon completion of the proposed Brutel, Forsley says those employees will have the option to work at the new and improved Portland site. But that's at least 2 years away.
It's bittersweet in the sense that a lot of people's jobs are going to change.
And I asked Forsley if he plans to keep the shipyard home base in Portland. His answer, forever.
109 having voted in the affirmative and 39 in the negative, 109 being more than 2/3 of the membership present. The veto is not sustained.
It's official. There's a recreational marijuana law on the books. After Governor LePage vetoed the bipartisan bill, it went back to the State House, where it got enough votes in both chambers to become law without the governor's approval. But there's still a lot more that needs to be hashed out. Don Kerrigan will have an update from Augusta coming up on News Center Maine at 5:30.
At least 5 people were killed when an Air National Guard plane from Puerto Rico landed on a Savannah, Georgia highway. But officials in Puerto Rico fear there could be as many as 9 fatalities. The C-130 was bound for Arizona. No word yet on what caused the crash.
Portland commuters, watch out for detours on Monday. For the next month and a half, Congress Street will be closed between Forest and Weymouth Streets, and Westcott Street is shut down between Crescent and Ellsworth. Maine Medical Center is undergoing a big renovation and building a new parking garage.
As the search for 5-year-old Valerio McFarland continues, so many of you have reached out to ask what you can do to help. Valerio and his older brother Maxim fell into the Androscoggin River last week. Maxim was rescued and is recovering at Maine Medical Center, while 5-year-old Valerio is still missing. There is an event scheduled for this Saturday where people will search for any signs of Valerio, which would help bring the family much needed closure. The event is being hosted by the Maine Veteran Initiative Project since Valerio's father was in the service.
So we're past rescue, and now we're into that search phase, and I know the mother and father want closure to this.
So what is it that the community can do is by sharing the event and by saying, hey, you know what? We have an hour. So if you can't do the 7:30 to 12:30, you have an hour. By all means, come. We're going to invite you. We want you to. I know that the family wants that.
They're hoping for at least 200 people to show up on Saturday morning. So if you're interested, please check out that Facebook page. Just search Team Valerio. We'll take you right there.
Bad news for future Black Bears. The cost of tuition is going up. Tuition fees and room and board costs at the 7 UMaine System campuses will increase an average of 2.9%, which is just under $500. The state's community college system is also increasing tuition slightly in the fall. The first increase after a 2-year tuition freeze. University officials say the increase is expected to bring in an extra $16.7 million. Approximately 45% of the new revenue is being earmarked for student financial aid.
So we know of 3 people who spoke to John Williams the night that Corporal Eugene Cole was killed.
But these witnesses can't agree on what happened. Chris Costa got a first-hand account. That's next on Now.
Coming up tonight on 207, it's not an easy question. Once you're retired, what do you want to do with the rest of your life? We'll see part of the answer for 3 ex-ad men in Maine. And a look at the Yellow Tulip Project on 207.
One witness says John Williams had a shotgun the night he allegedly killed Corporal Eugene Cole. Another says that is completely wrong.
Chris Shelinski spoke to the police about his conversations with John Williams, and today he spoke to News Center Now's Chris Costa. Some big differences in these witness statements, Chris.
One of the last people to see John Williams on the night that Corporal Eugene Cole was shot and killed is Chris Shelinski. Shelinski says his interaction with Williams that night was brief, but he noticed that Williams was depressed about his girlfriend's recent arrest and was nervous about his upcoming court date in Massachusetts, and said Williams considered not showing up. The police affidavit reveals that John Williams called a man named Chris Williams around 1 o'clock in the morning, asking for a ride to the Indian Ridge Apartments. Around that same time, John Williams called a different friend and former co-worker, Chris Shelinski, asking him to pick him up from those apartments. Williams told police when Shelinski and his girlfriend arrived, he noticed Shelinski put a shotgun in the trunk. Shelinski says that's not true, but that John had other bags as well as a bulletproof vest. Shelinski says John Williams then asked him to drive him to his former home on Mercer Road near the fire department. When they got there, Shelinski helped him empty the car. A Somerset County Sheriff's deputy pickup drove by and slowed down as it passed. Shelinski and his girlfriend left moments after that happened. What happened next is unclear, but at 1:41 a.m., dash cam footage from Corporal Gene Cole's stolen cruiser shows John Williams going into a Cumberland Farms in Norridge Walk. Police say he stole some cigarettes and left. Around 1:30, Chris Williams says John Williams called him, confessing that he had shot Corporal Cole and asking Chris to pick him up from Martin Stream Road, a home where police later found Corporal Cole's stolen cruiser abandoned. Chris Williams says John got in the car and started smoking from a crack pipe. He says John demanded his cell phone and car. Chris gave John his phone, but told him to get out of the car. That's when he alerted a Fairfield police officer what had happened. Cole's body was found hours later at that same home where John's friends had dropped him off earlier that evening. Shelinski says he didn't stay long enough to see any interaction between that passing sheriff's deputy cruiser and John Williams. But that's one question at the center of this case. How did Cole and Williams come to meet? It's a question that may not be answered until the trial, which is set for May of 2019. In Skowhegan, Chris Costa, News Center, Maine.
All right, still to come on now. Her friends saw her death announcement on Facebook, but she's not dead.
Okay, why are you asking?
This is just the latest post by Maine Police and Fire Alerts, which is a Facebook page, to be completely wrong.
And find your inner Sheryl Crow and soak up the sun today, because we hate to say it, but there's rain in tomorrow's forecast. Keith's live weather report when we come back. State Representative Karen Garish is alive and hard at work in Augusta. Normally that wouldn't be news, but some 40,000 followers, just under, of a notorious Facebook page thought she was dead this morning.
We have warned you guys about the Maine Police and Fire Alerts Facebook page multiple times on this show. It's run by a man in his 20s who listens to scanner traffic and posts statuses about whatever he hears. Now, he often blows stories way out of proportion. Sometimes, like in this case, he's just 100% wrong. Christina, you've talked to Greg Powers in person before. What's going on here? Why does he continue to still post all this fake news?
Yeah, Lee and Lindsay, he genuinely believes that he's helping the public, and that's what he told me when I interviewed him back in January. Now, he didn't answer my messages today, and he deleted that post about Representative Garish, but not before her family, friends, and co-workers were panicked.
Are you okay? Let me know you're okay.
Reports of a suspicious death in Lebanon.
I said, yeah, I'm okay. Why are you asking?
State representative found deceased in home, guns missing.
I was stunned. I was shocked.
The post was about State Representative Karen Garish, who is very much alive and well. It was sent out to some 36,967 followers.
And I saw how many people were on the page, and I realized I need to get ahead of this thing.
She quickly responded to countless family members and friends.
My phone was just going off and off and off.
Letting them know the truth.
That I am here, I am okay, and that it's fake news.
The Facebook page is run from this man Sabata's home. We talked to him in January.
I do it for fun entertainment. It's not a professional page.
The death of Rep. Garish isn't the only fake news he's posted. While Greg Powers sometimes gets the story right, he often blows it out of proportion, like he did during the active manhunt in Norridge Walk. 200 to 300 sheriff deputies and state troopers have a heightened tactical alert perimeter in place. The post caused such a panic that Maine State Police issued this statement on Facebook, saying the page is not reliable. Very much alive Karen Garish contacted law enforcement and says she has serious concerns after the panic this caused her family.
I'm a proponent of the First Amendment, but I think this is a real stretch. When you actually announce someone's death.
So the question we keep getting from you is, why does Facebook allow this page to run? Why not take it down? We reached out to Facebook, and a spokesperson referred us to the same response they sent us back in January. Basically, she says the company removes material when there's a genuine risk of physical harm or threat of public safety. But guys, when we asked her specifically about this page, she didn't respond. Okay. So unfortunately, no answer as to why.
Don't follow the page, and you can't be fooled by what's fake and what's real.
Yeah.
Simple solution to that problem.
Yep.
Look at that.
Christina,
I fixed
thanks.
it. Okay, here's something that is not fake, and it's on Facebook. It's beautiful outside today. Today, the Algonquin Fire Department posted to its page saying for the very first time this spring, the garage doors are open.
Open fresh air in those bays. Today's weather certainly did wonders for our moods. Kids of all ages were jumping for joy at the chance to get outside and enjoy some fun in the sun. Local beaches were mobbed with sunscreen-lathered youngsters covered in sand. Other places that were packed, ice cream stores. Long lines greeted customers who were more than willing to get that sweet summer treat. Most parents had no choice.
Oh, I think the toddler, I think these guys decided it was a must after going to the park, you know.
And two-legged friends, not the only ones looking for ways to beat the heat. This is Coco, who may share a name with something that warms you up, but he was all about cooling off this dog day of very early spring.
Yeah, he's a good swimmer there. And Keith Carson is trying to stay cool in Scarborough. He took Stormy outside on this not-so-stormy day.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day. People don't usually see this vehicle in a situation in which it's nice out, but we like to keep them on their toes, keep them guessing. We're here at the Dairy Corner, which actually opened in April, but you have to be pretty hardcore in ice cream to be doing it in April when it's still snowing. This feels more appropriate. They had a nice surge through the middle part of the day. We'll see another one around 6:30, the owner tells me. Beautiful, I already got my ice cream, man. Let's talk about the high temperatures because they may surprise you how warm they really were. We got to 90 in a lot of spots. 89 is what Portland says, but the official threat is 90. 90 in Sanford as well, 87 in Augusta, 86 in Bangor, and 90 in Concord. We got into the low 90s across parts of southern New England. Still sitting at 89 in Portland, 86 in Bangor. Coolest spot in the state, stop me if you've heard this before, Bar Harbor. They didn't get all that warm, although Rockland's doing all right at 78 degrees. You know it's pretty good when Rockland gets that warm. Not much of a sea breeze so far. Dew point's also extremely low right now, in the 40s. You know, this is a record they don't actually keep, but I bet we broke today, which is the highest 90-degree record with dew points so low, so dry. The dew points are in the 40s right now. Typically, you have to be in the 50s or 60s at least to get to 90 degrees or so. So that's why I felt so comfortable out. Satellite image showing you a couple of clouds over northern Maine. There's some showers out there as well, but they're across Aroostook County almost exclusively. Tonight, they'll roll into the mountains and Aroostook County where they have a flood warning in effect there. So keep in mind kind of a different weather pattern going on for northern Aroostook County in particular. Flood warnings right along the rivers there. That's why they still have those green advisories in effect. So showers overnight tonight for some of us. The coastal plain though remains dry. Tomorrow is a relatively mild day, but it's much different than today. It's much more humid. There's more cloud cover around, and we see a round of showers and thunderstorms pull through in the afternoon. Some of those could be a little bit nasty. We'll watch those late tomorrow in through tomorrow night, and then we clear out a bit and go back into some showers on Friday before a nice looking weekend. So we kind of meter this out well. The weekend looks good. Saturday and Sunday both look pretty pleasant. So as far as high temperatures tomorrow, the southern third of the state much warmer than the rest of the state, getting into the upper 70s there. Only around 50 though from Caribou down into Millinocket. Overall, the pattern looks good going forward. Lots of warm air in place. I don't see anything abnormally cool for the next 7 to 10 days. Staying in the greens and yellows, that's what you want to do this time of the year. So again, we're watching the weekend. It looks great. Temperatures will be in the 70s on Saturday, 60s on Sunday, and then Monday looks pretty good before some showers on Tuesday. So guys, the bottom line here is I don't see another day in the foreseeable future that we get to 90, but we're playing on the right side of the field, as you'd like to say, in the 60s and 70s for quite a while.
We'll definitely take that. All right, thank you very much. So Keith's eating ice cream. We all love food, especially if we don't have to work too hard to get that food.
Yeah, like if I can order it right on my phone from the comforts of my couch, and my favorite restaurant will deliver it. Katie, that's kind of the story behind this new organization, this new service that's coming to the area, right?
Yeah, this is the first week actually that Grubhub is delivering in the area from more than 50 restaurants. And Grubhub is a big name across the country, right up there with Uber Eats. But we've had this service in Portland for a while now, 10 years $2 to be exact, from a locally owned business. 2 Dine In has more than 80 participating restaurants and 65 drivers picking up everything from ramen noodles to gelato. And they were the only game in town for so long and kept a watchful eye on potential competitors. But the owner of the startup says he's keeping a positive outlook on what this means for their future.
So initial thoughts, I mean, hey, we no longer are, one of the only people here doing this in Portland, which is kind of scary at first, but we're really viewing it as an opportunity. We're excited to see more people know about food delivery and more restaurants know about food delivery. I'd be naive to think that every single person knows who 2 Dine In is and every single restaurant knows who 2 Dine In is. And hopefully they can kind of get some of the word out, and in turn we'll actually see our business increase.
Now, Grubhub says they don't have any immediate plans to expand in places like Bangor or Augusta, but 2 Dine In says for them, it's not off the table. For now, though, they're looking to serve in Westbrook and expand slowly that way, and business has been strong for them, especially over the past year. Me and Lindsay.
All right, Katie, thanks so much. Let's check in now with Cindy Williams, who has a look at what's coming up on News Center Maine at 5:30. Cindy?
Hi, guys. Grieving parents are demanding change along the Androscoggin River at Bonnie Park after their 2 boys fell into the river. One of them barely survived. The other one is still missing and feared dead. How this mom and dad want to save another family from the turmoil that they are going through. And do you think ticks are getting worse every year? Well, it's not all in your mind. Science is backing you up. The staggering new numbers on tick-borne illnesses. It's all coming up in the next half hour. Back to you.
All right, Cindy, thank you very much. When we come back, we'll show you some more That's So Maine. All right, so it's definitely nice to get visits from your neighbors every so often, but what if your regular visitors were, I don't know, a raccoon and a turkey? It is a That's So Maine moment sent in by Howard in Lymington. He says these critters are always hanging out on his back porch. That is awesome.
What is the deal there? Micah from Wyndham says someone in her house must be getting an invite to Hogwarts after she spotted this owl hanging out back. Tell Dumbledore we want a Hogwarts letter too. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful owl.
Here's something you don't see every day, but you would really only see it in Maine. It's the Western Maine Wookiee saying hello to his girlfriend. They were at the Bar Harbor Comic Con this past weekend. Thanks to Chewbacca for sending this in to us.
Where's Shannon Moss when we need her with her Chewie impression? And this kitty's hunter instincts may be kicking in. Sue tagged us in this picture of her cat with 2 white-tailed deer in the background. The feline looks fearsome, but not sure the deer have much to worry about. The protector of the house. Please remember to send us your That's So Maine moments by posting to our Facebook page or using the hashtag That's So Maine on any social media platform.
Best part of our day is when a new one comes in and we're like, oh, look, there's another That's So Maine. So please send them in. Awesome. Yes. It's awesome. All right, News Center 5:30 comes your way right now.